The John Whipple House in Ipswich, Massachusetts acted not only as a home to one family of Whipples, it acted as a home for generations of Whipples, and also contained rich architectural value. Captain John Whipple was born in Barking, England, and he married Susanna Whipple in 1620 and had 11 children. Together, both Susanna and John constructed a home to showcase their wealth. One out of 11 children was John Whipple, son of Susanna and Captain John, who was the main focus of the history of the John Whipple House. Only 2 out of the 11 children survived past the age of 21 due to illness and disease passed throughout their childhood. In the year of 1636, the parents of John and Susanna emigrated to America, with their children landing in Ipswich with minor stops along the way. Once in America, Whipple became an entrepreneur and a military officer. Among the surviving children was Sarah Whipple, who was a well-known writer and was very gifted. She later married Deacon William Godhue, and they moved to a new house and built by their father just for them. The Whipple house underwent many renovations and additions to increase the value of the home. The family added at least 4 additions to the house, increasing the home's value and appeal to the general public. Many of the phases, in fact, were made in the lifetime of John Whipple and not his father, mainly because Captain Whipple died in 1683 and he left his house to his son, John Whipple. He was a wealthy businessman and also became a deputy in court. One of the initial renovations was to tidy up the house and add a hall in 1677. One of the original historic house museums in America, which was the Whipple House, is an example of the early historic preservation movement because of the work done by Reverend Thomas Franklin Waters, who saved the house during the colonial revival period. What is the importance of this site to the social, political, or economic development of the Essex County?
Okay, the fact that the Whipple family, being a well-to-do family, engaged in textile manufacturing, this is going back to the 17th century, does have, did have an impact, on the lifestyle, the well-being of people here in the area. Okay, the Whipples, were very industrious. They also had slaves, domestic slaves that helped them with their endeavors. And it was
Finally, Phase 5 took place in 1953 when the Ipswich Historical Society restored the home back to Phase 3. Phase 3 is what the house resembles today, a Georgian-style home. Captain John Whipple of Hamlet commanded a company in Colonel Beighley's regiment. The Whipples also owned slaves who helped with their endeavors. They also acted as a strong religious family, since the Whipple family was wealthy, due to an important job of Captain John Whipple, being an influential businessman, and it is said that townspeople wanted to be just like him. They were a very influential family to the town of Ipswich. The style that the Whipples wore would be portrayed by the townspeople. Women in this time strongly relied on knitting lace. It was brought from the British colonies and passed down from mother to daughter. Lace was not sold at the time, it was just something fashionable to wear. Lace was a social indicator because the women wearing it were mostly wealthy. The Whipples were a prosperous family with a strong influence mainly because of their social standing. After the last alive Whipple had passed away, the house started to decay and lose its appeal and value. A man named Thomas Franklin Waters in the year of 1898 was responsible for saving this house before it was unmanageable. The location of the house was on Staltonstall Street in Ipswich and was later moved to South Main Street in 1927. The house underwent a long journey, being moved across the town of Ipswich, Massachusetts to where it stands today. Richard Crane had the idea to buy new land and roll the house on logs to the new location. A company by the name of Building Movers was available and said, quote, "If they couldn't move it, then nobody could." End quote. The first step to the big move was to take down the chimney, so each brick was removed very carefully one by one. The biggest worry from the movers and the townspeople about the move was if the house was going to make it over the choked bridge. After being rolled through the town and spending the night in Market Square, the house made it over the bridge and safely to its new location on South Main Street. The move across town on logs was an ambitious yet intelligent plan that adds great excitement to the history of the Whipple house. It all started with Susanna and John Whipple emigrating from England along with their 3 surviving children. Captain John Whipple added immense construction, transforming the house to a mansion. The Whipples enjoyed the luxurious lives they had from their wealth. After the family had all died, the house and its journey will forever be important and be remembered in history.